BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Ministers had been alerted to significant shortcomings within the prison system that contributed to the erroneous release of a convicted child sex offender. A watchdog report, submitted to the prison's minister, James Timpson, detailed a pattern of prisoners falling through the cracks due to chaotic release procedures at HMP Chelmsford. The annual report from the jail's Independent Monitoring Board, IMB, exposed a litany of issues and errors, prominently featuring a mix-up of release dates during the process of liberating a vulnerable inmate. This Essex facility finds itself at the epicenter of a critical inquiry following the accidental release of Hadish Kabatu, an Ethiopian national. Kabatu had been convicted of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl and a woman shortly after his arrival in the UK, a fact that intensifies the gravity of the situation. The report, which was published in December and subsequently forwarded to the relevant ministerial office, is now expected to reignite questions surrounding accountability for this serious lapse. Kabatu was mistakenly set free from prison just a week prior to the report's findings, when his intended destination was an immigration detention center. He was subsequently apprehended in North London and deported to Addis Ababa later that week, reportedly after receiving a discretionary payment of £500. The IMB report's findings stemmed from an investigation initiated after a complaint from an extremely stressed, vulnerable prisoner. This individual, mere hours before his scheduled release, had received no pertinent information regarding accommodation or how to connect with his probation officer. The subsequent inquiry unearthed a cascade of systemic failures. These included prison officers neglecting to conduct the prisoner's release process briefing, a rescheduled briefing being abruptly cancelled due to a scheduling conflict with a knife awareness course, and, crucially, a fundamental mix-up concerning release dates. The IMB's report urged those in positions of authority to rectify these processes to prevent future instances of prisoners being overlooked. Official guidelines, as stated on the Ministry of Justice website, stipulate that prisoners should receive comprehensive support and advice in the final 12 weeks of their sentence. In his official response to the IMB's findings, Minister Timpson submitted a 2-page letter. However, this response reportedly did not directly address the critical issue of release procedures, instead acknowledging that local issues of concern raised in the report, which the governor would continue to monitor. The revelation of this erroneous release follows reports of 5 additional prisoners being mistakenly freed after the original incident at the Essex jail. Hadish Kabatu, an asylum seeker who arrived in the UK via a small boat on June 29, had been accommodated at the Bell Hotel in Epping, Essex. Within 8 days of his arrival, he made explicit sexual remarks to a 14-year-old girl and her friend while they were eating pizza in the town centre. The following day, he committed a sexual assault against a woman, attempting to kiss her, and also attempted to kiss the same 14-year-old girl he had encountered previously. These disturbing allegations triggered public unrest outside the hotel, becoming a focal point for clashes between far-right activists and anti-racism campaigners, and contributing to wider protests against hotel accommodations for asylum seekers across England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Eyewitness accounts from a delivery driver returning to the prison entrance observed Kabatu appearing confused and returning multiple times over an hour and a half, only to be turned away. He reportedly informed prison officers that he was meant to be deported, but was instead directed towards the town centre. Kabatu was eventually apprehended in North London following his mistaken liberation. The investigation into the circumstances surrounding Kabatu's accidental release is being led by Lynn Owens, former Deputy Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police. Justice Secretary David Lammy attributed the incident to human error, with one staff member reportedly suspended in connection with the event. However, both the prison officers union and the prison's watchdog have cautioned against blaming individual staff members, suggesting that the issue points to a broader systemic problem. The suspended staff member was reportedly responsible for verifying release paperwork, but it is understood that the manager was reviewing documents that had already been processed by more senior personnel. The Ministry of Justice has declined to comment on whether the department has addressed the specific failings highlighted in the IMB report. Citing the ongoing nature of the inquiry, Minister Lammy stated that any release in error is unacceptable and that immediate action has been taken to implement the most stringent release checks ever introduced, alongside the launch of a comprehensive investigation to ascertain the root cause of the errors.